On this episode of Nerds to Men, we talk Logan. Spoilers! Is Logan the best X-Men movie ever? Plus, we talk to Billy Brown from Sons of Anarchy and How to Get Away with Murder. All this and more on...
Welcome to another episode of Nerds to Men. I'm Brad Reed.
Looks like it's showtime.
Oh.
You get a little overzealous. We're going to have to take the soundboard away.
Yes.
I have one special for each of you, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Let's try that again.
Here's Gog.
I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I do best isn't very nice.
Yeah,
It's true.
And here's Cameo.
Hey, it's me. Prove it. You're a dick. Okay.
All right. I like that.
All of them Wolverine Logan themed.
Nice.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So we're here tonight. We're doing the show. All of us saw Logan. We saw it together, but in separate.
Yes. Brad's seen it twice.
Yeah.
I've seen it once.
Yeah.
And Gog's seen it, I don't know.
I've seen it one time.
I saw it with Cameo, then with Gog.
Yes.
Yeah, Gog was sick whenever Brad and I went.
was under the weather.
We're going to talk a lot about Logan tonight, and hopefully those of you either don't mind the spoilers or have seen it.
Yeah.
Because there will be spoilers.
There will be spoilers.
Spoilers.
But before we get into that, what about the TV shows? Who's current on what this week?
I'm current on everything.
No, I've only watched Powerless. That's the...
I haven't watched Powerless.
Powerless was not on this week, though. You actually caught last week's.
Correct.
It was replaced by The Voice.
Ew.
Yeah, I was mad. I wanted a new episode because the last one where she dates the henchman,
That was good stuff.
that was good. That was hilarious. But yeah, no new Powerless this week. I watched Arrow. Mm-hmm. We found out who Prometheus is.
Finally.
We found out who Vigilante is not.
Yes. But you know what? You know who I think Vigilante might be?
Who?
He has to be a cop.
I think he's somebody that's in government or law enforcement. I thought he was the DA. For a long time. Then I don't know if maybe I missed anything or if this was just the first episode that actually pointed out that no, he's definitely not the vigilante because he was up on stage with Oliver when the vigilante was taking shots at him. So we now know he's definitely not, but we found out who he is.
Right.
He isn't good. So I knew there was something wrong and off about him.
Yeah.
But he's Prometheus.
Yep.
So what do you think about him being Prometheus? I kind of think it's cool, but
yeah, I think it's cool, and I like his character too. He was also in the show. What is it called? Sirens. He was a cop in that.
Okay.
And he played the dumbest cop ever, and now he's playing this DA who is, living two different lives. He's trying to get at Green Arrow and also trying to protect him at the same time.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's all in his game to throw him off.
Green Arrow has stepped it up, in my opinion, this season.
Oh, yes.
It's a lot more interesting than it was last season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I got to agree with you on that one.
If any of you out there were like, I got off the Arrow train, get back on.
Yeah.
I like it.
What would you say would be a good stop to jump back onto the Arrow train? Do you need to
I would skip last season.
skip season 5?
Yeah.
I would look at the Wikipedia summary of it.
Yeah.
Because
Cliff notes.
important
Get the cliff
things
notes.
happened.
Okay.
Maybe watch the last couple of episodes or something of last season.
There's probably a YouTube video that sums up the entire season, in a probably 10-minute video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Flash.
Yes.
What'd you think about The Flash this week? We had Gorilla Grodd.
That was a lot of CGI.
It was.
The last two episodes were a lot of CGI.
It had to cost a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's why they're doing a musical coming up.
I'm so bummed about that idea.
Yeah.
The musical, is that like the, wasn't there like a Batman, the Brave and the Bold? And they had, it's the character from that, right?
I think so.
That's coming up for this episode. That's why it's going to be a musical. Neil Patrick Harris was the guy in the Batman Brave and Bold. I can't remember the name of him, but he sang. And
Music Man.
was that his name, though? I think it was something like that.
Probably.
But I think that's why they're about to have a musical.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Just go with the story. We don't need to do all this.
Especially CW is already cheesy enough.
Yeah.
Some of those shows are already on the borderline of being too cheesy. Don't do it.
Yes.
Don't
do that to my stories.
I'm not watching.
Chad Smith asks, wasn't there a Spider-Man musical too? And I don't remember if it was a musical, but it was like a Cirque du Soleil Broadway.
No, it's an actual musical.
It was a musical?
Yeah, when I was living in New York,
Broadway.
I was trying to go see it, and they were all sold out. So
Okay, yeah. But was that the one that people were dying while they were trying?
Yes.
Like, because they had like trapeze artist stuff? Yeah. So there you go. Not always a good idea to do a musical. It sounds like such an innocent idea. Let's have a musical for Spider-Man.
yeah,
And then people died.
People are dying.
yeah.
Death.
CW,
Spider-Man doesn't help them.
take
Nope.
notes.
Nope. Jay Thomas says there was an incredible Hawk ballet, and I think that he's pulling our leg a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know about that
He's
one.
yanking our chains.
That sounds pretty great.
I think it would be awesome if it were so.
A huge guy in some tiny ballerina shoes.
Yeah. We all went and saw Logan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get it. Oh. How about do the cameo?
Oh, the cameo. That's funny. All right, so we saw Logan. What'd you guys think about this movie? James Mangold, I thought he, as the director, the writer, I thought he knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah, he killed it, man. He killed it.
What'd you guys think about this? Some people are saying this was the best X-Men movie of all of them.
Yep.
Do you agree?
Yep.
You sound like you're pretty resolute.
Yes.
Gog?
I kind of mentioned this last night, but I mean, it wasn't really an X-Men movie. It was a Wolverine movie with a few X-Men characters in it. I don't know. When I think of X-Men movie, I think of a lot more of the extravagant CG stuff. But I mean, I really enjoyed the tone of this film. I think the fact that they kind of went with a Western vibe, it cinematically looked amazing. It was pleasant to look at. And I mean, I don't know. I'm having a hard time just outright saying it's the best one. But like going back through the catalog of all the X-Men movies that have been out, I mean, it's a better movie than the rest of them are probably.
It is different. It's a standalone type film. And so it benefits because they can dig a lot deeper into one character.
Right. Instead of trying to cram a bunch of different stories from a bunch of different characters. And I think that's where things get problematic in some of the earlier X-Men movies is they're trying to get to all these different characters and there's just too many to get to in the 2 to 2.5 hour time frame that most feature films have.
I want to start off with this. A lot of these movies, you see a lot of love stories. There's not a love story in this like you would think about it, but there is.
Yeah.
It's about loving people that like father type relationships.
Family love.
Yeah.
It's more family love.
Yeah, it's definitely more about that, which made it a little bit more right in the feels when you get to some of the stuff that happens in this movie. I think even more because it wasn't gooey. It made you really feel the humanity of it. I thought Patrick Stewart, his portrayal of an older Charles Xavier, I mean, he felt like he was, I don't know, like it was just a really believable portrayal of a man who was stubborn, but still had to be taken care of.
Because when you get old, man, I'm telling you, you just don't give to anything anymore. Like, that's how he was. Too.
Yeah, and he was cantankerous, you know.
Yeah. And
I like that. I thought he did a great job. But like I said, Logan, he loves this man because he mentored him. He was like a father to him. Even though it's a argument a lot of the time, he loves him. He's got to take care of him. Yeah. And then to find out that he has a little baby, a little daughter.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's all spoilers from here on out.
A test tube, baby.
Yeah. A test tube, baby. They kind of had like a little bit of a bonding between them through the movie. So it was a good movie because it played upon your emotion.
Yeah. And you know, I was talking to one of my buddies on Facebook. His name is Victor. I was just like, all X-Men movies should have a darker tone to them. All of them.
Right.
Just because it's dealing with prejudices and racism. You know, regular humans hating on mutants.
Right.
And,
muties.
Muties, there you go. And so it's like this movie really portrayed how X-Men movies should have been made from the very beginning.
I can agree with that somewhat. I mean, if you made every movie this dark and rated R, then, you know, there's a lot of people who are under the age of 18 whose parents might not take them to a rated R movie who are going to miss out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if going forward I want every comic book movie to be rated R, but for this movie, oh my gosh, it was perfect.
It was crazy.
I mean, it was violent. And I love the violence in it.
That was
it
one of my
was so
favorite
good.
parts.
Yeah.
You're just like, yes.
All the characters, X-23, the girl
She
Daphne
was legit.
Keen, I think is her last name. She is awesome. I mean, she was
good.
totally believable. And like some of her fighting scenes, how do they get a stunt double for a little kid? You see what I'm saying? Because, or did she do her stunts?
There might have been a younger person, yeah, because there could be someone that's really well trained in gymnastics.
Yeah.
Like that to do.
So maybe,
some of those
if it
stunts.
was her, it was amazing.
Yeah, she kicked some butt.
It feels more like the darker, grittier Netflix shows to me.
Yeah.
It does also have some Western undertones. The whole story itself.
The story was awesome.
A guy rescuing a girl, getting her across country, kind of a theme we've seen a lot. Also a theme, too, like you were saying, political, in that you've got kind of like an immigration type theme in this movie, too. But it wasn't too on the nose or in your face.
Right.
But it was there. One of my favorite scenes was a chase involving some of the some of the mutants.
Oh God, that part cracked me up.
The little chubby kid.
Yeah, the little chubby boy was just booking it, dog. He was booking it.
Oh yeah, he was running for his life, scared to death. But it was just like,
nah, dude. He was like, it was like almost like the truffle shuffle.
Yeah,
from Chuck. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was great.
I was cracking it up.
I just thought that you had mentioned earlier they were calling them like muties or mutes, and there was a scene when they're with the family that took them in for dinner and to give them a bed, and the father's asking like, how long has she been this way? And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, a mute. And he was saying because she doesn't talk, not because she's a mutant. I just kind of put that together.
You know what? Like I took offense to that too whenever he said that, because it was just like, how long, has she been a mute? I'm like, oh, hold up, dog. Hold up. The politically correct term is mutant.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he meant that, though.
I know. But like, I took offense to it because it was just like, oh.
You take offense to everything,
I sure do. You better watch out.
You also were offended by the...
Oh, yes. You know what? Professor Xavier... he's on my crappy list right now.
Tell everybody why.
Well, okay. So, if you haven't seen it, again, spoilers, there was a part where Logan and Professor X were talking, and Caliban, who is pigment challenged.
I'm sorry. That's not what it's called, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, but he's pigment challenged like myself. But, he was like, you don't leave me here with this dang albino.
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa, hold up, dog.
Whoa.
Hold up.
Just old and senile.
I know.
Anything.
I know, but it's just like,
Introducing
hold up, dog.
Taco Bell chalupa. The cheese baked right into the shell.
That was great. I was assuming that's like him just picking up different...
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like,
it was hilarious and sad to watch at the same time, because it was, like a kooky old man, but this is someone that, for us growing up with these movies, we've come to gain a lot of respect to see Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, and then to see him as like Taco Bell, blah, like scooting around, being weird.
Okay.
That it made sense because you, when you had seen the movie before I had, you said, I got a glimpse of what Gog's going to be like in the future. And I knew right when I saw that specific scene, I was like, thanks a lot, Brad.
Yeah.
That's
some crazy old man in a wheelchair screaming about Taco Bell.
I'm going to be taking care of you, I'm sure.
I'm just going to be that albino in the other room.
How does Brad get to be Wolverine in this scenario?
Right? The cool one?
Here's another spoiler for Logan. The trailer that starts the movie. I actually thought, okay, the movie's starting.
Yeah.
And it turns
that guy's
out...
way too skinny to be Wolverine.
Right.
Hood on and everything.
Like, I thought, it ends up being Deadpool.
Yeah, it's Deadpool, and it's hilarious.
It is pretty funny.
I got it spoiled on the internet before I went to the movie, so it wasn't like I knew what was coming, and it really bummed me out.
Well, when me and Cameo saw it, it was Thursday, so it was the first that anybody had seen it. And so I was totally surprised. But yeah, it's all over the internet by now. Probably a lot of people have seen it. But, it was hilarious. Mm-hmm. I like that they did it before the movie, not after. Because when you get to the end of the movie and everything that happens, then to get to a Deadpool skit at the end, I think would have killed the vibe.
Yeah, and did you notice where he was doing his little Superman costume change? Mm-hmm. Like in the background, there was a movie theater. and on it said Logan.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
Playing tonight. So that was cool. Check that out. And then also, I wanted to say that I thought it was a little bit appropriate that it started the movie because you have to really thank Deadpool for getting this R-rated movie, right? I mean, they took the chance on Deadpool, and then to come to find out after Deadpool came out, after Deadpool did so good, Hugh Jackman had to take less money, I think this is what I read, to make this movie rated R. They still were like a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
So now you have this one. How much money? Like $85 million, I think.
And it cost $100 million to make, but it's like $85.3 million for.
So they've almost made it up in the first weekend.
Yeah, and that was just domestic too. So
it said on IMDb 127. I don't know if that's national.
What they've made or
estimate of. I guess that was probably their budget.
So here we have another rated R movie that just smashed it right out of the park.
Yeah.
So do you anticipate a lot more rated R comic book movies?
I think if it's necessary. I don't think they'll do it just because it has to be absolutely necessary.
Yeah, like Spawn is apparently getting a reboot.
Yeah.
So that's, obviously that's going to be a rated R movie.
Well, just real quick on that. That's kind of cool because Todd McFarlane wants to direct it. And that's the only way that they'll have a Spawn movie is if he directs it.
Right.
And that's pretty dope. And he said it's going to be more of a horror film than anything.
Right. So he's not like aiming for necessarily a humongous budget to do it with.
Yeah, yeah.
See, and I think, like I said, you want this tone for certain movies. You don't necessarily need a rated R Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. You can't have
or Spider-Man.
You can't have that because they're not dark. And that goes back to what I was saying to one of my buddies. X-Men has a much darker tone than any other Marvel property.
True.
I mean, you could say the Hulk too, but I mean, it is
a rated R Hulk movie could be cool.
Dude, you see him just ripping people apart.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah.
For the violence, not necessarily like the language or anything.
Yeah, I
Maybe
could see
a Hulk sex scene.
Ooh.
Oh, what if they did do that? Because in the Old Man Logan story, Bruce Banner and I forgot, She-Hulk. They had to have kids together.
Yeah, because he's got, in the Old Man Logan, he's got a bunch of offspring. And
they're all, I would say redneck, but they're green neck.
Well, and they're all kind of inbred.
Yeah. They're all like hillbilly looking.
They're like the Hulk meets Hills Have Eyes. Yeah.
And
Hulk has eyes.
Deliverance, too.
Yeah, Deliverance.
Right. I think we have a movie idea in our hands here.
Yeah.
The Children of the Hulk.
Yeah. It made for, that story was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought with the movie Logan, it couldn't be too true to the comics because of that craziness of the Hulk and all that.
Right.
But I did think that it still felt true to the character, the essence of the Old Man Logan character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really liked that. I thought that they did a great job. I want to talk about this. A lot of the movie was set in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then as you watch it, and as I watched it the second time, I noticed, I don't think any of it was actually filmed in Oklahoma. There's a scene where they're in a casino in Oklahoma City, but that's a Harrah's.
You can't have casinos in Oklahoma City.
There is a Remington Park, though.
That's in Norman. No. That's
over by the zoo.
I'm thinking of Riverwind, sorry.
But either way, the Harrah's, I'm pretty sure, is in New Orleans. Outside of that, and I mean, we all know there's not a Harrah's in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. Of course, this is 2029, so nothing.
There could be, yeah.
But just for purposes of where they actually filmed this stuff, it looked like it was the one because when I watched it again with GOG on IMAX, I was looking at the signs inside the casino, and there was one that said Cafe on Canal, and Harrah's in New Orleans is on Canal Street. So,
okay.
And then I think some of the highway scenes where there's different Oklahoma City signs, maybe photoshopped or whatever whatever you call it for that CGI'd. Because when me and Cameo saw, we didn't know there was no ending scene. You don't have to sit through all the credits. But we did, and there wasn't like a thanking Oklahoma. It was like New Orleans, or I'm sorry, Louisiana and someplace else. So there was a lot of violence.
Yeah.
Loved it. A lot of F words.
There wasn't that much violence where there was like a couple fight scenes, like 4 fight scenes total. The beginning, the one at Wolverine's place, the other one at the hotel-ish. Actually 5. Then at the people's house, and then the end fight scene. There's only 5 fight scenes.
Well, okay. But those were epic fight scenes, nonetheless. There was a lot about it that, I mean, I thought that the choreography and all that looked really good. Just the way that the X-23 fought was exciting.
She was dope, dude. Like, I'm sorry. I gotta say that again. She was getting it.
For some reason, it was extremely satisfying to see that level of gore.
Yeah.
With the claws and being able to just see, like, show like a close up of someone's chest, and all of a sudden you just see 3 claws jut out.
You know, what's kind of funny, too, is that I was watching The Wolverine, and the part where he's fighting one of the samurais, his claws didn't go all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that it's kind of funny because the first Avengers movie where Phil Coulson gets stabbed in the back by Loki,
right?
It was going to be rated R because of the staff that went through his chest went through his back through his chest.
Yeah.
But they CGI'd that out, or obviously it's not CGI'd. They cut that part out. So I think that's kind of funny. Like something going through you is rated R, but it's kind of funny when you see Star Wars movies, they cut arms off. Mm-hmm. And it's, PG-13, but it's because of the blood and whatnot.
It automatically cauterizes the wounds.
That's the whole.
It's all about justification.
Right.
How can we justify our way to a PG-13 rating?
We got some comments. Christian Cox said he wanted to hear Professor X say the F-bomb on repeat.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Logan, I have to pee.
I could do it myself.
The overall theme, it's a great movie. We love it. Mm-hmm. Don't know if you can say it's the best X-Men movie, but at the same time, all of them should be.
It is a damn
as
fine
good as
movie.
This one.
Yeah,
it's a damn fine movie.
I want to go back to how X-Men Apocalypse ended.
Mm-hmm, right.
Like the end credit scene, the Essex Corps. Well, James Mangold, who directed Logan, and then the director of X-Men Apocalypse, they didn't coerce or communicate on that project because in Logan it was I forgot what it was called. It wasn't Essex Corps, so they used, instead of Nathaniel Essex, which is Mr. Sinister,
right.
So they used Xander Rice, which was Stryker's son, Xander Rice.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so the whole Essex Corps, it has no relevance to the Logan movie, which kind of upset me.
Right.
But James Mangold, his explanation was because he didn't want Mr. Sinister, and he didn't want it to make it a comic book feel.
Right.
But
that would have made it overly CGI if you inserted.
You put a costume evil villain, but I don't think that he could have gone that route. Put Mr. Sinister in a suit.
So do you think that this movie is better or worse because they kept it a little more simple? You see what I mean?
No, I think it's a better movie.
Me too.
As a movie, just looking at it as a film and stripping away the Wolverine coating of paint on it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the movie. I love how they, changed it up. But, the continuity of it all.
So, okay, if you have any other DC movies that you would want rated R, which ones would they be?
Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they ever make a Green Arrow movie, that would have to be.
If they made a Joker-esque movie.
Yeah. I would think Aquaman, too.
See, that's what I was going to say. Aquaman with the Jason Momoa and the way they're kind of taking his character where he's drinking the looks like alcohol or something and then, walking into the ocean. That looks like that could be a cool rated R movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets on a seahorse and is the Sons of Anarchy underwater. Yeah. Let's see.
Little bubbles come out of the back of the seahorses when they scooch along.
Here's the thing we talked about a couple weeks ago was Mel Gibson being talked to about making one of the DC movies. Was it
Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad 2. David Ayer is going to be doing the other movie, the Sirens
movie.
So if Mel Gibson were to do this movie, I think he could do it rated R.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
instead of making it as fun and campy as the first one was, let's go brutal. People want to see brutal. Apparently, that's what people want to see.
I think Mel Gibson could make a movie that would be a brutal movie, but watchable.
I don't think as a moviegoer and a comic book connoisseur, you're going to have like a group of evil villains teaming up, trying to save the world, whatnot, you know they're going to have their own agendas at some point.
Right.
So I would think that you would have to make those movies rated R.
Right.
Like, obviously, the Avengers, they're kind of campy, they're kind of funny, whatever. Good. PG-13. Wolverine. Obviously, from the very get-go, it should have been rated R. The only rated R movie that they ever did was Blade.
There's a ghost in my house.
What the H was that?
I would have said it was the cat, but he doesn't have a cat anymore.
Dude.
I'm trying to think of what that sound could have been.
Do you want to go check?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take just 1 second.
Yeah, ooh.
The cameo's stirred.
I sure am.
Ghost pause.
And the verdict was GOG?
Probably ghost.
Yeah, oh, snap.
So,
Just a ghost.
real life
Nothing to worry
ghost
about.
haunting on the air.
And my window in the back is cracked open, and I think the wind might have gusted in and blown something over.
Okay. Yeah,
There's your explanation. No
it's
ghosts.
about to bounce real quick.
And that ends today's episode of Nerd. No.
What I wanted to mention, though, I have a great idea. Like, if I were in charge.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if they don't have him do Suicide Squad, or even if they do, I don't care. It could still work. But they've got Matt Reeves to do the Batman movie now. He's back on. I guess he was like, I'm out unless you give me creative control. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yep.
And then they's like, hey, all right, we'll give you that. Let's go. Let's make this movie.
That makes me excited about this movie once more.
You think after this movie, you think Ben Affleck's opinion might change about coming back and staying?
I think so.
I hope it does. But I don't know. Maybe he'll make this to satisfy everything and then walk away. But, if it's great enough, who cares? We don't have to. I want to see like 8 more movies out of it. But then again, if we just got one really great one,
Right.
then they could do some other stuff. The Flashpoint.
Island.
But here's an idea. Here's what I would like to see Mel Gibson do if he was going to make a movie in the DC universe. And it would be this. You wouldn't even have to have Ben Affleck in it very much. But let's make a Nightwing movie.
Ooh.
And it's dark, but let's place the movie around the time that the Robin from BBS gets killed by the Joker, because that's in that movie. I mean, it's referenced in that movie.
Yeah.
So then we could see all that play out on screen, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a Batman type
Right.
movie.
I feel you.
Yeah, and with Mel Gibson, it could be dark and rated R. Because if the movie where Robin gets murdered,
Jason Todd getting smashed with a crowbar. In the face.
yeah, and but then you could also have Nightwing be the star of it. You know what I'm saying?
Then you could spawn a Red Hood movie.
Oh yeah.
Just have a whole like sidekick.
Yeah.
Subgenre from Batman that goes over this way.
Yeah, I would
maybe
think
up here a little bit. Maybe it comes down here and gets a little.
But yeah, like movies like that, yeah. Batman, anything Batman-esque needs to be rated R.
Yeah, I agree.
Or, a villain movie, Suicide Squad, it has to be rated R.
I think it would be a good movie.
Heck, guys.
Yeah.
If they're a bunch of bad guys, they're bad. We're the bad guys.
Yeah, but they're not really all that
They're going
bad.
to say bad things.
Exactly.
Plus, you can, you could add to an element of the humor layer that you find in a lot of these, because they could say dirtier jokes.
Yeah.
Right.
Which would be funnier.
But see, with Suicide Squad, is Mel Gibson going to be too serious for that particular type of movie?
I don't know. Maybe.
Give him a chance.
I mean, the guy's made really good movies.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that just don't personally like him.
Yeah.
But he's made some great movies.
Well, and
So the
he
latest
has
one was
to.
Hacksaw Ridge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an actor, he has to have at least some sense of comedic timing. Like,
Well, you saw that in Passion of the Christ.
yep.
That's it.
And scene.
Gog's making a old style mustache.
Yeah, this is what you miss out, listeners. This is what you're missing if you don't watch the Facebook Live. And Facebook Live, what you miss if you don't listen is our exclusive interviews with celebrities. I don't know.
Which we have one.
What happens when you let me fly off the handle?
We mentioned it earlier. Bobby Brown.
It's my prerogative, baby. No, Billy Brown.
Billy Brown.
But you know what? Let me tell you.
But Bobby Brown, come on. Let's step up your game and get him
I
on.
know, right?
Yeah.
I was, so close to call him Bobby. I was so close.
Well, didn't you? Who was it? A few shows back called
Cameron Monaghan. I called him Jerome.
That's funny too. But we got Billy Brown. He was on Sons of Anarchy. If you watch Sons of Anarchy, he was the leader. I can't remember the name of the gang that they were in. But there was one guy that was above him, and he was like the leader. And then he gets taken out by the Sons of Anarchy, and this guy steps into his role. Okay. And he knows that the Sons of Anarchy took out his boss pretty much, but he also is now the leader. So
was it the Buttercream Gang?
No, no, I don't think it was the Buttercream Gang. No. Close though, very close.
That was a VHS tape I used to watch as a child.
Yeah, but Billy Brown was
Scholastics.
always his presence on screen was always very captivating. He was a good, he's cool. So what's he doing now? You said.
Well, we didn't talk about go into too far of what he's doing in the future. But the season finale was a couple Thursdays ago.
Oh, okay.
And we were just talking about that, of How to Get Away with Murder.
Right.
Yes, and it's on ABC. Like I said, the season finale was a couple Thursdays ago. But he will be back, and the show is awesome. He's awesome in it, and I like his character progression, because there's a little, love interest between him and my boo, Viola Davis. And who was also Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad movie.
Right.
But she kind of uses him, but not really. Like, you got to watch the show. It's pretty dope.
All right.
Past seasons are on Netflix, so you can get caught up too.
Well, we will be back in a couple of weeks. We'll probably do some Facebook Live between now and then. Maybe. I want to go. There's a store here in town. You might have seen the ads on some of our other shows. Toy Base 10.
Yeah.
I need to get by there. They've been posting these pictures of some. They got like the Slimer that I want.
Dude, they got
this Ninja Turtle that looked like. I mean, it wasn't like just a normal action figure. It was like a real. It looked a lot more to scale.
Real turtle.
Not a real turtle, but
a real Ninja Turtle.
It looked a lot more realistic from the movie, from the movies back in the day. I don't know how to explain it, but make sure you guys subscribe to us on YouTube or Spreaker or iTunes, wherever you consume Nerds to Men. Spread the word. Tell everybody about us. For Cameo, for GOG,
this handsome honka.
And me.
I hate you so much.
All right. I think with that, we're done.
Welcome to Nerds to Men.
Cameron, how you doing? Morning.
How you doing, Billy Brown?
I'm doing great.
How excited are you for this season finale tonight?
I'm excited for the whole season. I'm hyped to be a part of How to Get Away with Murder, part of Shondaland, and most of all, to have the opportunity every day to work alongside, opposite, if you will, Viola Davis in most of my scenes, and that's great. The rest of the cast, they spend a lot of time in the courtroom and in their apartments and scheming and plotting and doing what they do. But I'm so thankful I'm not involved in any of that stuff. And when I go to work as former Detective Nate Leahy, it's typically Annalise Keating and I, Viola Davis, and that's great. I mean, you couldn't ask for something better.
Right, exactly. Viola Davis, you could tell her this too, because I'm looking for a boo, and she's my boo. So you could tell her to call me.
I will.
Whenever. So how's it working on shows like, because you've played a cop before in Dexter, so how is it playing something from like Showtime to ABC?
The difference is on Dexter, I was actually doing detective work. So although my run at Dexter wasn't that long, it was great. Got a lot out of it. Wonderful experience. Within that storyline, I was actually doing detective work each episode. Very prototypical stuff. On this show, How's It With Murder on ours, for 3 seasons, I ain't done no detective work. I've been the subject of detective work and police frisking and getting beat up in jail, and I've been a subject in the court, being wrongly accused and standing trial, and the wife dying of stage 4 cancer. So, everything's been thrown my way. But as far as being the proactive guy who's out there taking prints and finding out, the who's and the what's and the whens and the whys. Interestingly enough, I've really only been a detective or a cop in title.
Right.
So just a little bit here and there, which is, it's smart on our creator, Pete Nowalk's part, and his writers, or our writers, to have moved in a less predictable direction with the narrative and my character specifically. So I've been involved in so many other story elements which typically amount to Nate Leahy's survival. How's he going to get out of this one? How's he going to prove himself innocent? How's he going to, keep treading water, get to the shore, keep the metaphor going, dry off, change clothes, reclaim his balls, get a spine of steel, and go after the bad guys. So that's where we're at now. I love it.
Man, that's awesome. And I love the progression of your character, because at the beginning of season 1, you and Viola were, I guess, a thing.
Yeah.
And now you're like, when you were talking to Wes in the last episode, you were saying, she only cares about herself. Is that really how Detective Nate Leahy feels about Annalise? Or is that just you're trying to get away from her, but it seems like she's your kryptonite as well?
Yeah, she is. We all have our kryptonite, and maybe more than one. In that moment, I really took it to be a heightened moment of negotiations with Wes. My knowing things that he is unaware of, and I'm certain he has secret skeletons, not just involving himself, but the house, the students, and ultimately Annalise Keating. And to win him over, I was hoping in those moments to try and get him to come to my side by finding some common ground, something that I could see maybe he might bite the hook. And if just a moment, if I could just get that moment with him, where I could see it in the eyes, maybe a few of these secrets, whatever he's burdened with, because I could look at him and see something was going on that he wanted to, but he was unwilling to reveal. So I was hoping to get him to come along with me and share some of this stuff, and hopefully save a life. So I don't really. Nate Leahy does. He knows that Annalise has that component of only caring about herself, but she's much more complex than that. And Nate knows this.
Mm-hmm.
Nate knows her inner workings in some ways better than the law students, and maybe even, if not better, on a different level than Bonnie. And Bonnie's been with her forever.
Right. And she seems kind of suspect too from time to time.
Oh yeah. Diminutive, blonde girl with a not so powerful vocal quality. The short bob cut, dangerous, man.
Right? You can't trust a blonde-headed lady. I'm just saying. Okay, I got some questions for you. Some of my friends want me to ask you, because we like live chat throughout the whole show between How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal as well. So I got to ask you, what is your workout regimen?
For me, it's probably maybe 2-3 days a week, depending on the schedule. And I do a lot of heavy weights, front squats, the back squats, below parallel, all the way down, deep in the hole, overhead squats, power cleans, some clean and jerks, snatch, some kettlebell work, Turkish get-ups, get down to the stairs. Here in Santa Monica, we've got an area to run the stairs, but 180, 190 steps straight up. So, do a couple laps of that, up and down as one lap. But a lot of it, man, is a diet. If you don't buy it for the house, you won't eat it.
Right.
So if you don't put it in the shopping cart or the basket, you don't bring it home, then you're guaranteed not to throw it down the hatch. And that's really the biggest thing. You eat good, whether you're going for a look or just feeling good on the inside. I think that's it. You gotta eat smart.
Okay. And I got another one. You don't have to answer it. It's kind of funny and somewhat inappropriate. But I got to ask you, though. We've seen a lot of skin this season from you. Why did you stop at the towel?
Well, if you ever find the director's cut, I didn't stop at the towel.
Oh, snap. Well, I got to say, you know what? You're welcome to my friends that asked that question.
Yes.
But, okay, back to the show, though. Were you surprised that Wes was killed off?
We got the scripts last year in June, the first scripts back to episode 1, first table read. Reading through it, everybody's jazzed, excited, back from vacations, tan, looking healthy, ready to go for season 3. And we move into that moment where we read The House is on Fire, Annalise Keating running from the house past police and paramedics towards a gurney being wheeled away with a body under the sheet. And the entire cast, their mouths dropped, because they didn't realize every subsequent episode thereafter was going to slowly reveal, and it did, who was alive, who survived, and who was yet to be possibly deceased under that sheet. Mm-hmm. So when we came time to find out it was Wes, I know we're heartbroken to lose Alfred Enoch, great dude, British cat, smart, cool brother to have on, but that whole time was fraught with high anxiety from the cast. High anxiety. Every episode. Who do you think it's going to be? Who is it? Whew. It's not them. So you can imagine the audience watching it when those episodes finally started to air. The set was even more tense.
Oh, I bet, because I know at home, live tweeting with my friends, and I was shocked. I was like, no, they took it to the students now. I was like, oh no, that hurt me, because Alfred Enoch, I love his character in the show. Wes is pretty dope.
Yeah, he is, man. He's a real cool dude. Loves his Shakespeare. On a side note, Alfred would make the offer anyway through email. And whoever wanted to, even from Scandal or Grey's, we get together on a Sunday or Saturday, and maybe 15, 20 of us, and read back to back, I should say start to finish, maybe Henry IV or Midsummer Night's Dream. He loves his Shakespeare, and being the proper English actor he is, he break it down. He knows his stuff, knows the history. So we gather, man, and do something that otherwise, I guarantee, none of us would have been doing on our own volition. So, credit to him to bringing a new flavor, not just to the set, but to the experience, offset amongst all the actors. So he's a good dude.
All right, cool, man. I won't keep you too long, but at the end of the season finale tonight, what can we expect?
Your mouth stay at the floor, and you to tweet like a madman, and Instagram like crazy, and Periscope like like a fiend. That's what I can expect. Okay, awesome. I cannot wait for it. And before I let you go, you have a social media that you want to shoot us? No, I don't. I'm not doing the social media yet. I love it. It's got a great thing about it, but I just haven't allowed myself to fully dip in. So that may be soon. I'm waiting for the right moment. Okay, well, awesome. Well, Billy Brown, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with me. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the show, big fan of you, and I hope that at the end of this episode tonight that nobody is dead. Cameron, appreciate you having me on, man. Oklahoma. All right. You have a good one, boss. Thank you.
This has been a Nerds to Men production. Subscribe today and check them out at nerdstomen.com.
Blah, 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 blah. All of that chit-chat's gonna get you hurt. Oh, my God.